Over the last few days, there's been a lot of speculation concerning Carlo Ancelotti's future at Real Madrid, with a lot of big media outlets saying that he plans on leaving the club at the end of the season. Well, let me tell you something right now, chat. Not only were all those reports saying that Carlo will leave at the end of the season false, but he's come out himself and put these rumors to bed. Because in a press conference that's happened recently, Carlo has come out and said he has no plans on quitting Real Madrid, and he also wants to stay for another 4 years. Carlo wants to be our manager until 2029. He wants to stay for as long as Florentino Perez will be our president. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I hope not. I'm going to just say that right now. I hope that Carlo is not here for the next 4 years. Now, we can look at the quote that he came out with, and it says, look, Carlo's basically confirmed that I've not decided to quit Real Madrid. I hope to stay for 4 more years, same as President Florentino Perez. That would be perfect in order to do a big farewell together in 2029. So, real quick, guys, for those of you who do not know, right? Florentino Perez has just been elected as Real Madrid's president for another 4 years. And more than likely, this is going to be his last 4 years as our president, right? Big up to Florentino Perez. I think he is the greatest club president that's ever existed. But the guy is old as dirt, right? He can't do this job forever. So, yeah, we do have to start thinking about life after Perez. Now, with this guy being, reelected for the next 4 years, right? Nobody ran against him because running against Florentino Perez is so pointless. So nobody, he was the only candidate. But Carlo is basically saying, since this is Florentino Perez's last 4 years, I also want to stay 4 more years, and then him and I can get a big send-off together. Now, let me tell you something right now, right? Big up to Carlo. One of the best managers that I've seen in terms of I've seen so much success with him at the club. He is a legend at Real Madrid, and we should all be grateful for what he has done for us in terms of silverware. And when he retires, I think he should be given an ambassador role at the club, right? We should still keep him in the fold in some capacity. But as the manager, fuck no. 4 more years? Brother, I want you gone after this season. Now, you guys know, I am Carlo out. I have been Carlo out since the AC Milan ass whipping that we got in the Champions League at home this season. Because I think it finally dawned on me that Carlo Ancelotti is somewhat of a fraud. Now, I'm not disrespecting him, but when I call Carlo a fraud, I'm speaking on the fact that tactically he is so naive. I feel like everything that I believed was a myth because Carlo, in my opinion, I thought was arguably the greatest manager of all time. I thought Carlo was the GOAT. But to see how this guy cannot manage this group of players, it has me thinking that everything that I thought is a lie. Tactically, we are shit. His substitutions are shit. The way that this guy cannot set us up to look like an organized team is so concerning. The fact that we're getting beat in damn near every big game that we've had. Barcelona trashed us twice, losing to AC Milan, losing to Liverpool, drawing against Atletico Madrid. Somebody name me a big game this season that we've won. I know that we beat Atalanta in the Super Cup, and I know that we beat Pachuca in the Intercontinental Cup, but I just have not been happy with what I've seen for a majority of this season. The fact that this guy wastes Arda and Endrick on the bench. It's just things that, for me, I'm thinking, if you're the greatest manager of all time, why do we not have a style of play? Why are we doing freestyle football? Why do I have to rely on individual brilliance week in, week out? Can somebody tell me what Carlo's system is. Can somebody tell me what this guy does? Aside from setting up the starting 11, Carlo Ancelotti does what you and I do on match days. Watch. He's a chill manager. Eyebrow aura, right? Like, that's what Carlo is. So, yeah, I'm Carlo out. But at the same time, I do recognize that he's a legend. And I do realize his importance to the club. But this guy wants to stay for another 4 years? No. I just can't see it. I cannot see Carlo here at the club until 2029. And I personally think that this will be his last season. Now, the reason that he's had to come out and even talk about this is because a few days ago, right, reports were breaking about Carlo Ancelotti deciding to leave Real Madrid at the end of the season. Now, the source that came out with this news, never heard of them before. But this guy, I clicked on his profile because he's the one that's getting the credit for that story. Well, Carlos just said that's false. And I always knew that it was going to be false, right? Why would Carlo Ancelotti leave Madrid under his own fruition? When Carlo leaves, yeah, I think the club will say it in a way that makes it seem like Carlo made the decision. But we all know that he's going to be sacked. It's kind of like a Wenger with Arsenal, right? The decision came out that Wenger has decided to step down. But we all know he's sacked. But the thing is, when you're a legend at a club like what Carlo is, right? Because Carlo is a legend. Carlo is our most successful manager of all time. You're not going to just sack him, right? Carlo deserves better than that. So what you're going to do is preference it like he has made the decision to step down, but we all know why, right? Like, if Real Madrid were playing good football this season, and if we were just cooking, dominating teams, nobody would be talking about Carlo leaving. But it's how shit we look on the pitch and his lack of tactics, which is going to get him sacked ultimately. And the thing is, I truly believe that I could do a better job than Carlo. Like, I don't think people that do not support Real Madrid understand how awful he has been tactically this season. We can't afford for this guy to be a chill manager on the bench just watching us get cooked. Every single week, we're seeing something different, right? Sometimes we come out during games and we're on smoke. We're cooking in the first half and we cook for 90 minutes. But a lot of other times, we're getting cooked in the first half and then we got to become second half FC. Literally, we are individual brilliance and inshallah. Like, that's it. And it's just not good enough. But yeah, man, look, these rumors that broke have been debunked, right? Carlo is not planning on leaving. And as I said, it makes sense because what is Carlo going to do if he leaves? The only thing for Carlo to do is retire. And I don't think he wants to retire, right? Because then what other club would he go to? Look at his age as well. So, you know, it is what it is. But look, we all know that the guy that they want to come in to replace Carlo is Xabi Alonso. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not that sold on Xabi, right? Not my first choice. Even though I've already come around to the idea that he will be the manager, I just don't really like his tactics like that. I don't care for the back three. And I've been looking at Leverkusen lately because I've just been doing some more research. And I've seen that Xabi Alonso does run a back four at times, right? Like, I've seen a 4-2-3-1. I've seen a 4-3-3. I've seen a 4-1-4-1. So that does give me some hope because it lets me know that Xabi is still trying to adjust his tactics. And I do think that Xabi Alonso would do a better job with the current team that we have at Madrid. Only because I don't think he's going to just let the players do whatever they want. And I think he's done an amazing job at Leverkusen, right? The first team in the Bundesliga to win that league for the first time in like 10 years. Bayern Munich won it for like 10, 12 years straight. Leverkusen come, do an invincible, win the league, also win a domestic trophy with one of the cups. So you got to give him a lot of credit. He is one of the hottest managers on the market. I think a lot of clubs want him. And we saw last season, Xabi Alonso could have left. Liverpool needed a manager. Bayern Munich needed a manager. Two clubs that he played for. And he turned them down to stay at Leverkusen. And we all know why, right? We all know that he did that because he is eyeing the Real Madrid job. So, look, I feel like he will be our next manager. And I think a lot of Madrid fans do want Xabi Alonso to come in. And again, I've done some more research. I've noticed that, look, Xabi Alonso is not just steadfast on this back three, right? He does adjust his tactics due to the personnel that he may have out there. So with that being the case, I'm all for it, right? He's young as well. He's played for the club. He knows what it means to be at Real Madrid, right? And the pressure here is exuberant. Like, there's no pressure at Leverkusen. Like, nobody cares if they win the trophy. As long as they finish in a decent league positioning, he was going to be safe anyways. Now, he went out there last season and did the madness. And this season, they are still competing for the Bundesliga title again. So I got to give Xabi Alonso a lot of credit. But I hope that he will be able to handle the pressure of being the manager of Real Madrid. And I know some people are going to say, well, he's played for us, so he knows what it means. But I could say the same thing for Xavi at Barcelona. Xavi was there for 2 years. The guy left. He basically quit because he could not handle the pressure of being the manager, where you are expected to win every single game. So, look, I think if Xabi comes in, instills a system while also finding the right balance of individual brilliance, because when you have players like we do, yes, you do have to let them express themselves. But when things are not working well, you do have to adjust. And again, this is my biggest problem with Carlo this season. He's not adjusting. He's giving the players too much freedom. This is not the team that you had where it was Ronaldo, Bale, Benzema, Casemiro, Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, Marcelo, Dani Carvajal, Sergio Ramos, Rafael Varane, Casillas. It's not this same team. That squad, you didn't have to tell them anything because that was an 11 full of generational talent. I could have coached that team and won a lot of trophies. All that you got to do is just show up. That's a squad. You don't got to tell them nothing. But this current crop of players, you can't just let Rodrigo abandon the right wing and then stack up on the left next to Vinicius to keep in balance our squad, right? You can't rot these young players on the bench. The fact that Raul Asensio, who's been our best performing defender this season, was dropped for a DM to play center back when Tchouaméni was struggling is a joke. Now, I do want to say before we get on out of here, right, that it's not all Carlo's fault why things have just been kind of mid this season. I think that the board have failed him as well because he didn't get summer signings. We didn't properly adjust. Toni Kroos left. He retired. We didn't get a replacement. Joselu leaves. We don't get another player of that profile to give us an aerial threat. Nacho goes to Saudi. We don't sign any defenders. So, yes, while Carlo holds, I think, a majority of the smoke because our team is still good enough to where we shouldn't be playing the way that we are, I do understand that the board didn't do the best job squad building for him. So they both have to hold smoke. But look, it's much easier to replace a manager than it is to replace a president. Florentino Perez is not going anywhere for the next 4 years. And for everybody that's talking about this, Carlo's contract runs out in 2026. So technically, he has another year left. He has not gotten an extension. When he came out in this press conference and said that he wants to be here until 2029, Carlo is hoping to get an extension. But I think the way that this season is going, he's not going to get one, just to be very honest. But I want you guys to get in the comment section and let me know what you think about the managerial things that are going on at Real Madrid, right? Would you keep Carlo or would you sack him? And what manager would you want to bring in? I think we all know that Xabi Alonso is going to be Real Madrid's next manager. Me personally, I prefer Jurgen Klopp, but everybody always says it's never going to happen, even though nothing is off the table if you're Real Madrid. But look, man, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications. Carlo wants to stay 4 more years. Would you guys do it? Let me know. Holla Madrid!